exact match, phrase match, and broad match. What is this one rule which lets you to use all of these three match types in your Amazon PPC campaigns successfully? Okay, let's start with understanding the difference between search term and the keyword. Search term is something that a real potential buyer types in the search bar in Amazon.com, when the keyword is the guess of a PPC specialist of what this search term can be. Okay, as we understood what is the difference between search term and keyword, we can proceed with our match types, right? So how it can help us? Phrase, broad, and exact, all of these things are keywords, right? And we use these keywords for us to guess the real search term which potential buyer can use to search our product. And all of these three match types, they are very similar to each other. So the exact match type is the subset of phrase match type, and at the same time the subset of broad match type. What does it mean? So if we use the keyword iPhone case in exact, phrase, and broad, we're gonna have this keyword in each of those. When, for example, if we have the keyword in match type broad iPhone case, some other search terms which are gonna be generated by this keyword might be fully different from our main keyword. That's why we need to fix that the exact is the subset of phrase, which means a part, right? And at the same time, the part of broad. And at the same time, the phrase is also part of the broad. So how it helps us to proceed and do our Amazon PPC successfully? There is one rule that helps me not to get in chaos and structure all of the campaigns in the normal way. So the bid for exact should always be higher than the bid for the phrase, and for the phrase the bid should be always higher than for the broad. Why it should be like that? Because other things constant, we always want to pay more for the best search terms, right? If we decided that this keyword is important for us, then the exactly same search term is irrelevant for us. So that's why we want to pay more. So the exact is the best approximation of this search term. That's why we want to pay more. Phrase is much more closer to the exact than broad. That's why we are willing to pay more for phrase than for the broad. And at the same time, for the broad, we want to pay less. So let's say we have one keyword, which is iPhone case, and we have this keyword in exact, phrase, and broad. So our rule of thumb is, let's say we want to bid the exact $1. So for the phrase, it should be lower even on 2 cents, no matter, it should be just lower. There is only one case when the bids can be structured in the way I said, but it will not work. It is only the case when in all of these situations the bids are higher than the market, so the highest bid. So let's say the highest bid is $1, but we are bidding $2, 1.8 and 1.7. In this case, it's no matter, but in normal situation, if you did it in that way, exact gonna get the most relevant traffic, then the second layer gonna go to phrase, a bit less relevant but still much more relevant, and the third layer gonna be the broad, which is even less relevant, but still can make a lot of sense for us, can bring a lot of sales with low ACOS, but of course it's gonna help us less with organic sales and ranking. Okay, and now you can ask me, okay Grant, what will happen in the case if I will not follow this rule? So in this case, a lot of bad things can really happen. So let's say you have random bids for one keyword for different match types. What will happen? Let's say if bid for the broad higher than for an exact. So basically exact not gonna work, because the search term which had to be in exact will be inside of the broad, and you will basically lose the control for this most important search term. It's gonna be inside of the broad, and maybe it will be too expensive for you. Maybe it would be nicer to separate these two things and to see how it performs just as a broads, right? What is also very important for the execs to have a full control of this keyword, right? To use it for ranking purposes, to control for different placements, and etc. Okay, let's sum up. Use this one simple rule: have the bits for exact higher than for the phrase, and for the phrase higher than for the broad, and you will never have problems with your Amazon PPC campaigns for the same keyword for different match types.